Round of 32 continues here, and a classic one. Two guys from the same generation. Two goofy footers. Two great Brazilian athletes, and both of these guys got to look up to dads that were competitive in their career. With Miguel Pupo, his dad was on the QS Wagner, and also Ian Gouveia's father, Fabio, one of the greats from Brazil on the championship tour. Ian Gouveia will get things started for us. A little misread on the first section, so priority starting. Pupo has it now. Just going down on that first connection.
Finding my footing, and yeah, that round's like the do or die round. You know, it's like get through that round and then the contest starts. So yeah, after like a week of lay days, it felt good to get in the jersey and make it through.
Copter and check out the coastline. How's this one? Setting up with some size for Miguel Pupo. Nice fading turn to set up the second maneuver. Another carve for Miguel. Now pushing down the line. Nice rail work to connect with a lip on that surfboard from JS Industries. Now laying it down again. Nice comfortable controlled pace from the Brazilian vet, and he will get through the whitewater here with another end section turn to burn off that speed.
And as you said, smooth, Joe. I mean, didn't overrush anything, made sure to be on the same pace of this wave right here. Second turn, especially with the carve maneuver, is just beautiful. Good redirect right there, and great readjustment too with this timing and pace of this wave after the second combination maneuvers. And I really like the way he just kind of finds his footing right here towards the end, doesn't try to overdo anything, but gets to close out re-entry. And how's this little foam climb at the end too, Joe? I mean, just a little creativity, making sure, hey, like, not only did I finish that wave, I did something very and vastly different to what everybody else has done. Obviously not going to be a huge score, Joe, but he's going to get the better of the opening exchange by a lot right here. And when we talk about casual pacing so far by a former CT event champion, this guy is just so good on the backhand too, Joe. Very polished, mature, and of course, as we always say, great reel surfing by Miggy Poops.
Slowing it down, nice smooth canvas to work with.
Oh, absolutely, especially this afternoon where you have to be much more selective with your maneuvers, Joe. As you said, David probably pushed a bit too hard a few heats ago, and this one, the golden child that he's riding from Jason Stevenson.
A One World Rankings, remember that? That was talked about all the time. Get back to that. Miguel Pupo is going to roll in and out. Had a 5.0 in his opener. But the whole idea of the One World Rankings, we knew Samuel was coming. Miguel rolling into this wave under priority. Quick whip there, a little sloppy, trying to clean it up here. You see the bounce off the bottom. Now looking to maintain control. Definitely one of the smoothest surfers on the planet. Tags it, backhand float. Creases that transition into a beautiful slice down to the bottom. Nice flow into the pocket again for Pupo. Throwing some water, finding the flow and rhythm under priority. In a wave that started with turbulence and awkward speed bumps, he just stayed committed and got so smooth down the stretch.
For how the section was, he got a vertical right here. Yeah, a little sloppy, just considering how much difficulty and chatter there is on the face of this wave, but look at the way he just readjusts his timing, Joe. We're talking about somebody with the smooth style and maybe too casual at times. It's a beautiful floater right there to gain speed down the lane. That was ridiculous, though, to hold that line as long as he did. Just difficult, Joe. And talking about degree of difficulty on a slopier wave, boy, that combination at the end, just pristine stuff, Joe. Another look from the outside. Difficult for a section to be able to manage all that chop on the open face. But right here, slows things down, takes his time, reaccelerates. And how's this bottom turn? He keeps it for so long. This one coming out of the floater. Look at how much distance he covered right there. Woof. Into the lip line and truly on rail the entire time, Joe. Always been a big fan of his style, but more than anything, the read on this wave, spectacular.
During the break, the Goofies got loose. Ian Gouveia, a very important ride here, coming in at a 5.37.
Yeah, his best so far, Joe, and beautiful floater right there. Nearly loses his fins. That's much better from Gouveia, surfing in the pocket the entire time. That was a great snap. Controlled speed, and in a really nice manner and pace right here towards the end of the wave. This will get him way back into the heat, Joe, and just talking about how explosive he can be on the backhand is great variety that he also has in the air going on the rights. Haven't seen that so far in this heat.
And then Miguel Pupo was on the way behind it. getting a 6.83.
Oh, and that was a massive turn on the outside, Joe. We talk about consequential maneuvers. That was one of them. How's that floater? I love that thing. A little rock and roll added to it as well. And just a bit of extra English right here on the inside. Delayed bottom turns the entire time, and just as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, Joe. Looking great on the backhand, and he's got a strong lead at the moment with just under 10 minutes on the clock now. But once again, the catalyst of the score right here, Joseph, that first turn all the way on the outside. Oh, a big fan of this one from Miggs.
Gosh, that looked great, and you can see how hard he was pushing, and then he could just lay off for control and finesse. That's a decision from the panel. One score all the way to 7-5. They dropped that with one of the low 6-5s. Even a backside float to land that perfect. Very impressive. Already responding is Ian Gouveia. Throwing some water out the back. Having to hug the pocket. Lip line not quite there, so still S-ing back into the power source. Now finding it. Fin throw there. Controls the transition right into a fade. Bowley section crushes it. Airdrops and celebrates.
Close to the score that he needs. Looking at the outside here, Joe, this is where I'm thinking, okay, you got one carve already, another one, this face just going really flat on the outside, and then all of a sudden he gets the full roundhouse, and he doesn't kick out. Then he goes for that thing and just fully extends his entire body committed to that turn. Once again, just steepens up right there on the inside. Another major and committed turn on the end section, Joe. That's his score very well. But the size of the wave doesn't necessarily always mean that it's going to be one of the better waves. That was the case on the outside right here. And, you know, I was thinking to myself, should you kick out? Goes for the full roundhouse, kind of readjusts his timing, stays in the pocket, and just goes destructive mode right there, Joe. And once he gets all the way to the inside, this wave really steepens up. And that's the good thing about having a bit more west in the swell rather than just the straight south. You get those ones that bend towards the rocks and not fully up on the point. But talk about committed maneuvers, one of them right there.
What a wizard at just creating moments for himself. You're doing that S work, and you don't want the judges to think you're just all setting up something better down the line.
Yeah.
Real. Going faster than anybody in real life. High performance king. He's up next. Ian Gouveia missing the grab.
A big heat win for number 10 in the world. Number 16, he's out of the draw.
Two good friends, a lot of respect for each other. Break it down, and M.Pupo, even though he lost in the first heat of the morning, here to really throw the support towards his big brother. Pupo moves on to the round of 16. One more heat left in the day.